My presentation is a bit different from the ones that we saw in the main stage. I'm not showing you any architectural buildings, so I will show a little bit of the process and give you my experience on how to implement BIM in a company. Some suggestions, tricks that I think are important. So, I need to be in English because I don't speak nothing of German, sorry about that. So before starting the main topic of the presentation, that is the BIM implementation strategy, I would like only to introduce my own company, myself, and my own definition about BIM. I will not lose too much time because all of you, if you are here, you know what is BIM, but at least to make a common sense of what is BIM in terms of for ndBIM, this is my company. So, everything that I do in my life, I try to understand why I'm doing it. And when I decided last year to quit myself from the previous company that I worked in, it was a leading construction company in Portugal, with a very strong presence in Africa, a bit worldwide. It was called Modigil. I try to think a little bit, why should I do this? And why should I open a consultants company and offer service to other construction companies? And I like a lot this sentence for Eric Hofer. He says that in times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learners find themselves beautifully capable to deal with a world that no longer exists. And I'm always working with big construction companies, big design firms. And there are lots of people there that say, we are the leading companies in the market, why should I change? And this is the reason, because the world is changing. There is a paradigm shift, and we have to embrace it, as the previous speakers told. If not, we will lose some market and some competitive advantage that we already have. The other thing, it was because there are lots of studies, market research, that say that coordination, 3D BIM is quite important. It gives lots of advantage. But are the other dimensions, cost, time, facility management, that will be the most value of BIM. And this is very hard because it's the true collaborative BIM, not the 3D BIM that typically is made only by designers and not involving other stakeholders. So we are a consulting and service company created by professionals, architects and engineers that are working with BIM for 7-8 years ago from now. And all the knowledge that we have is because we implemented this in more than 30 sites already. Myself, I'm a civil engineer, not architect. I have also a Master Business Administration degree in company management. And I typically try to promote BIM in a group that we created that's called BIM Forum Portugal. As it was said previously, we had a conference 2 weeks ago in Portugal, similar to this one, with people from all around the world. We do consultancy, and typically we say to the companies that there is one company that is equal to other. Okay? So when you implement BIM, you have to understand how they work previously. It's not possible to buy a package and say that in 1 or 2 weeks we'll make the change. We need to understand how we work. That's the thing that we have there. We make a diagnosis. After the diagnosis, that's a lot of interviews to the people from different departments. We define the BIM process with the knowledge that we have. We make the training, we make the implementation, and we follow 1 or 2 sites where people are mature enough to be working alone. We have also the services. I call it the back office of our clients, typically because our clients don't have the technical manpower, or they don't have enough manpower for their designs. And since we know their process, it's very easy to work with them. And recently, we start also to make some design, because mainly for countries like Brazil, now Colombia, Saudi Arabia, because people are being tired not to have integrated delivery in terms of design. So they are asking us not to do only the coordination, but to do the coordination of the entire design. So we are thinking, it's very, most of you maybe are designers, so you know what I'm saying, because we have to study visualization and so on. So, but we are trying to do this and offer a more integrated process to our clients. Okay, I don't know if you know this graphic, but the reason that I'm showing you is that I want to share with you what we not offer to our clients, and we never should offer this to our clients. Is that inflate expectation. Okay, every time a new technology like BIM, like softwares, appear in the market, people say that this software will solve all the problems that they have in their firm, and this is completely okay, because in the end, when someone installs AutoCAD, Revit, Tekla, whatever, they see that this will not solve all the problems. And sometimes it's lack of training, sometimes it's bugs in the software. But when you sell the software, this blue curve is our version of it. This is the Gartner Research Hype Curve model. What we made is that we manage the expectations, and in the end, we can have a better return on investment. And what I say to my partners is that we have to separate reality from fiction. That all youth think of BIM, because the reality, what AutoCAD, for example, offers today is quite exciting, and it gives lots of tools and lots of functionalities to work. So we are working up to Riyadh, because I only have 25 minutes, so we are working worldwide now. And the thing that is quite important is for me to explain a little bit what is BIM for myself in 2 or 3 slides, not more. And the reason is that I may have some designers here, architects, maybe engineers, maybe builders, maybe owners, maybe facility managers, and we have to find out a common ground to talk, okay? If not, it will happen like these scientists that have the blindfold and they are grabbing the elephant, and according to the place where they are grabbing the elephant, they are saying that they have a spear, they have a snake, or they have a tree, when they really have a leg, for example. I don't know if any of you know the Babel Tower story, yeah? So very quickly, there was some guys from Shinar that decided to build a tower to arrive to God. The story says that, very simply, the story says that God didn't like it and put everyone talking different languages, and they never finished this tower. Okay? This is a little bit what we face in the industry, where we have different silos, everyone has their own main goals, and no one is talking the same language. But the problem is that even inside of our companies, we have this problem. We have different departments, and every department is talking their own language, and it's because of these cartoon shows, everyone has their own objectives. So for me, and to finish this first part, is that BIM is not more than an integrated process that helps to exchange and streamlines the exchange of information between all stakeholders. Of course, using a 3D model, using other databases, but in the end, the most important is that you have information to take decisions. Okay, it can be information for design, it can be information for construction, for facility management. I don't care. What's important is that you have a database that is shared among people, and people can make better decisions. And the thing is that you can do it alone, or you can do it with other companies. And both of the solutions are valid, and in the beginning, maybe you will do it alone, because you will not have the partners to do it with you. But if you start, you'll have lots of advantages, and in the end, others will join you. In terms of benefits, typically I choose 7 bigger major benefits to present in this conference. And I always bring some objective data because people always ask me, okay, we know that this gives you better communication, it helps me to flash to find some clash detections, quantities, or can you give me numbers? So I try to bring you some numbers. The only one that I don't bring numbers is the better communication, because I think everyone in this room is from this area, from the construction industry. So you understand very fast that the fact that you have a model and that everyone discusses everything around this model helps a lot to avoid conflicts when you are discussing or a design or an invoice during the construction period. The second one that is quite important is the fact that you can have optimized crews. For example, during the construction or even in the design, we had some teams doing quantity surveyor and some teams doing design. Now you can have only one guy, more skilled of course, that can do both of the things. So you can do more with less. This, of course, people need training, you need a period of maturation, but in the end, you'll have this type of advantage. This one is one of the advantage benefits that people must know. And the thing is that after implementing this in more than 30 sites, the opinion of all site directors is that 80%, at least 80% of rework disappear. So it's quite impressive. Especially when I typically say that when I was working on my previous company, that was a company that worked in major projects, I worked with top designers that no one knows, big firms, small firms, and in the end, every time, the design was not well coordinated. There was problems that in the end were problems for the guys that were inside. So the fact that we can have coordination in the beginning of the process, a better coordination, in the end, it helps to mitigate this type of work. Design optimization, I'm trying to be very fast on explaining this part because I want to lose a bit more time in the last chapter about the implementation strategy. Design optimization, after implementing this also in several sites, we arrived at the conclusion that we can improve our margin in 1%. And in Portugal, United States, every country that I go, the margin goes typically, in construction goes typically between 5 to 8% according to the country, and if the fact is not in crisis or not. But so increasing the margin in 1%, it's a lot. Okay, it's a lot, and it helps. For example, we have a project it was an hospital. And only because of one optimization that you have in the technical floor, we could have a return on investment of 300%. The model itself cost 30,000 euros, and in the end, only on the foundations, we could have a return of 100,000 euros. So it's very easy to show the return, and that this type of costs is not a cost, it's an investment. Job drawings. Quantity extraction, this is the major benefit for a builder, for anyone actually related to construction, because when you multiply a cost by a unit price, you have the final budget of your project. So this is one of the major important things for everyone. And the reason is this, because I love this picture, I don't know if you already saw it. We have a small boat that is called regional contract. And in the end, we have a yacht that is called change order. And this is a thing that happens in every site worldwide. It's not a thing that is typical for one country. It's a thing that happens in every site. Finally, the seventh benefits is better scheduling. And what we found out is that if we merge technologies like BIM and technologies that came from lean construction like line of balance, we can make an improvement on the duration of the site more or less of 20%. And this is from my experience, but also the experience of some partners that I have in making this type of implementation in the US, Australia, and Nordic countries. So it's quite impressive, the fact that you can finish the site 2 months early in 10 months, so you can understand the benefits, the cost reduction that you can have in the cranes, manpower, and so on. This is one, I don't have time for explaining this, but concluding, we have more information to make decisions, okay? And this is the true BIM, not the old yield. When you integrate coordination with costs and time. So here you have the costs, here you have the time and the coordination itself. Here in this side we have the invoices for the clients, and here the invoices for the subcontractors, so the costs itself. And everything is integrated and can give you a very nice picture of if the site is delayed or not in terms of cost and in terms of time. Okay, so what I think is quite important is, I don't know if you recognize this scenario from Hollywood, from that Cowboys movies, where you have a very nice facade, but behind you don't have nothing, okay? So what I'm trying to give the message is that when you decide to implement BIM, do it for the right reasons and not for marketing. Marketing is good, of course, we have to enjoy it because you want to win the designs, new buildings and so on, but the thing is that since you are making an investment in software, training and so on, try to make it with a solid foundation, so in the end you take profit from it. Of course, the next big step that I'm working with my clients, now they are starting to be mature enough in 5D, it's facility management, because they have everything. They have a model updated exactly as built, so it's quite easy to use it for access, line maintenance, whatever. Okay, let me. Anyone can tell me the time? Because 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's negotiate. Okay, that's the main topic of my speech, and I will try to give you some suggestions wherever. Try to understand it. How do you prefer? It's a suggestion, a trick, orientation, whatever. So there are 7 steps if you decide to implement BIM in a company. The first step is about benchmarking, and you should do a benchmarking externally and internally. Externally, because there are lots of people that have made mistakes in the past that are doing this for the last 10 years. So we have much to learn with these people. And internally, because as I said in the beginning, every company is a company with different people, with different culture. So you have to understand your own company and decide the best way to implement it. Then you have to define the reasons, the goals, why you want to implement it. Okay? And define a strategic plan, a roadmap on how to do it. Because you will have to present some benefits, some return in a short term. If not, your board members will cut your budget for this type of implementation.